Welcome to this Maths Made Easy video on the quotient rule. And to start with, let's just give the formula we use for the quotient rule. Now we have a function here, y equals f of x, so y equals f of x. Now we want to express this as a quotient, and what we'll do here is we'll use two different colours to highlight this clearly. Now my numerator would be u of x here, and my denominator here will be v of x. So put our fraction in here, and in that case, if we do this in blue here, my denominator is v of x. And what I'll simply do here is just give the formula first, and then I'll use colour again just to highlight which part corresponds to the numerator and which part corresponds to the denominator here. So in that case, if we want to find dy by dx, so therefore dy by dx, this is simply as follows. It's u prime of x, so the derivative of our numerator, so u prime of x times by v of x, minus here u of x times by v prime of x, so the derivative of our denominator here, so v prime of x. And this is all divided here by v of x all squared. In that case, write that as v of x all squared as follows. So in that case then, let's just quickly match this here, our dy by dx, with the corresponding colours, so we can see clearly which parts correspond to which. So the formula here begins with u prime of x times v of x. So this u prime of x corresponds to our numerator here, so we can write that as u prime of x. We also have a u of x here, okay, and again that's going to correspond to our u of x. We have a v of x here, and that's our blue part here, so writing that in the correct colour here, that's going to be v of x. And we've got a v prime of x here, and again that's just the derivative of v of x, so that corresponds to our denominator again. And finally, our denominator here, v of x all squared, clearly corresponds again to our denominator, so that is represented here by the blue part. Okay, so this whole part in the denominator here is our v of x. Okay, and that gives us the formula there for the quotient rule. And that concludes this Maths Made Easy video on the quotient rule.